Africa, a continent of immense beauty, rich in resources, and home to a diverse array of ecosystems. From the towering heights of the Atlas Mountains to the life-giving waters of the Nile, this land has nurtured life for millennia. Africa is full of vibrant cultures, lush forests, and bustling cities, where the pulse of nature and humanity beat in unison on every corner. But this beauty and the life it sustains is now under threat. Climate change is no longer a distant concern for Africa. It's a rapidly growing crisis. Across the continent, communities are witnessing the horrific effects of rapidly shifting climate. Nations such as Eswatini and Cameroon are indicative of the future dire implications of anthropogenic climate change. In Eswatini, more than 70% of the workforce is composed of farmers, making it the backbone of their economy. However, according to the United Nations, 29% of Eswatini's populace is currently food insecure, and 60% of all citizens are considered at high risk. To further compound the issue, roughly 80% of all agriculture in this country is reliant on seasonal rainfall, making the nation exceptionally vulnerable to minor shifts in weather patterns. While Eswatini grapples with the effects of drought, Cameroon is forced to deal with its own climate-induced issues. Rising temperatures, deforestation, and erratic rainfall patterns have been major contributing factors. Flooding is quickly becoming one of the largest problems that the nation faces. In the last decade, around 200,000 Cameroonians have been displaced from their homes. However, floods are certainly not the only challenge that Cameroon faces. Like Eswatini, many of its citizens are farmers that rely on rain-fed agriculture. Shifting rainfall patterns as well as increasing pests due to warmer conditions are further threatening food security in the region. While the challenges in Eswatini and Cameroon may seem overwhelming, there are signs of hope. Across both nations, communities and governments are finding innovative ways to adapt to the changing climate. With the help from the United Nations, Eswatini has begun to fight back against drastic warming by focusing on climate adaptation strategies designed to protect both the environment and the livelihoods of its citizens. The National Adaptation Program of Action, NAPA, is the lifeblood of climate activism in Eswatini. It's a dynamic framework designed to tackle the urgent and complex challenges of climate change. Passed in 2018, NAPA identifies the most vulnerable sectors and allocates targeted funds to implement strategic solutions that can mitigate the risks of changing climate and ensure the sustainability of vital resources. One of the core goals of NAPA is to enhance climate resilience across Eswatini, and it focuses on practical, immediate actions that will have long-term benefits. This includes addressing water scarcity, protecting the country's ecosystems, improving agricultural practices, and bolstering public health systems against climate-related risks. These efforts have already started to make a tangible difference. Water reserves are being replenished, farmers are experiencing improved yields thanks to more resilient crops, and communities are better equipped to handle the health risk posed by climate change. However, these efforts come at a cost in short term. The government is making sustainable investments in infrastructure, new technologies, and climate-resilient practices. All resources are stretched thin in a country with limited financial means. But while these efforts require significant resources now, the long-term benefits are clear. These climate-resilient investments could help boost the nation's GDP, creating new opportunities for growth and development. As Eswatini strengthens its resilience to climate change, it's positioning itself for a more sustainable and prosperous future, where today's investments will pay dividends tomorrow. While Eswatini faces its own climate challenges, Cameroon is equally grappling with impacts of rapidly changing climate. With the displacement of hundreds of thousands of people and the risk to the infrastructure and agricultural systems that may rely on for survival, something must be done. In response, Cameroon is implementing its nationally determined contributions, NDC, as part of the global effort under the Paris Agreement. This strategy focuses on improving agricultural resilience, protecting water resources, and reducing the impact of floods. Key initiatives include introducing climate-resistant crops, expanding irrigation systems, and building stronger flood defenses to safeguard communities. These efforts, much like Eswatini, are costly in the short term, but vital for securing Cameroon's long-term stability. Both Eswatini and Cameroon are demonstrating that through strategic investments in climate adaptation, they can protect their citizens, ecosystems, and economies, but they certainly can't do it alone. These nations need the support of international community. From financial resources and technical expertise to global policy and action that prioritizes climate resilience. By working together, we can empower these nations to build a sustainable future and ensure that their investments today paid off for generations to come.